Hello. Good morning for me. Good evening or whatever it is for you, Connor. How are you? So today I also woke up fairly late, but that's okay. I actually intended to start streaming a little bit sooner than I did, but I was writing some posts on the forum, so I had things to do. I'm doing pretty well, yeah. Got some sleep, which is good, and still doing my push-ups. So I'm thinking that this AI, right, Magistrate's AI in V Terran 01 for Hydra 2.0. To ground ourselves here, that's what we're working on. I gotta say, I'm expecting that we're gonna need some Vulture Micro. We're gonna need some serious action going on, because this AI is going to be pretty Vulture heavy. Not like only, but the idea is that it's more like a conventional mech army. And, you know, you got vultures, then tanks, and Goliaths mixed in. I think I set its defined maxes for vultures to something insane. Let me scroll up and find that. Oh no, it's only 30. This would probably be a bit higher. Alright. So admittedly, I got less progress on V Terran 01 than I thought I was going to. In my wildest dreams, I was hoping that I would actually be able to release the map by the end of this week so that I could then go back to working on Inconsummate's first map. Or, actually, I think I'm going to have to work on Inconsummate's second map. One of the things that I didn't realize was how much technical stuff still needed to be assembled. Like, back when I was working on Total Deer last month, one of the things that I thought was really good about me working on that was like, okay, I get to experience, like, I get to practice working with AI that appears in the middle of the map, in the middle of runtime, which is something that I wanted for the first map of Inconsummate, right? And so I set all that stuff up in both maps. But I learned a lot from working with Total Deer. But the other thing I learned is like, okay, I know exactly what the engine limitations are. I know exactly what technical things we need to fix in order to make this work better. And apparently I did not really know that, because I forgot, for one, about the issue with... what was it? There's an issue with workers staying assigned to the towns. So, like, any town that exists, even if you set max workers to 0, it always takes 1 worker, which is why if I started this map up right now, you would see Arak mine with 5 drones, and one of them would just be doing nothing. It's a combination. I don't know why it's like this, because you'd think that the AI can still mine. There's still a hatchery and a drone. I mean, there's still a town center, right? And there's resources, and the town is assigned to the resource area. So why wouldn't the drone still mine? even though it's like, okay, the AI can't use it to build structures because the drone technically doesn't belong to that town. But why it doesn't mine is beyond me. So that's obviously a performance issue because the AI needs to mine. And even if for some reason I gave it like a bunch of stockpiled resources and took the Blizzard way out, they would still look dumb for idling a drone, and that would not be that would be the kind of immersion breaking shit I would want to avoid. And so, yeah, I'm not a fan of that. But I think ultimately, like the biggest takeaway is that like that's a big deal. I've got to fix that, and then beyond the fixing of the worker assignment, there's still some other stuff that we need, like base layouts being assignable for things like sunken colonies, like anything that morphs, anything that has an add-on. We can do base layouts for the main structure, but the AI doesn't check the base layout for like where to place the add-on or which structure to morph to whatever the new one is. Like, for example, what you should be able to do is you should be able to define a base layout for this pre-placed sunken colony that I have here as both a creep colony and a sunken colony. And then if you do, then if the AI was to build that creep colony and then they get a sunken colony request, they should search for the base layout and see, is there a creep colony that I can morph to a sunken colony in this area? And if they can, then okay, do it. Like that's what they should be doing, but it doesn't happen. It doesn't work yet. So hopefully that's something that iCreate doesn't get destroyed over trying to implement in the near future. But bottom line is there's a number of other things too. Like we need build queue. We need a couple of different commands, and as a result, that means that I can't do much like testing. I can't do much useful testing anyway, because I could test the maps as they currently are, but they would have idle workers and potentially bugged like defense threads and a bunch of stuff. So I would need to take all of the testing with a grain of salt. Maybe it would help me find other unrelated issues in the AI that I would already find, but it's also really difficult to pinpoint like certain performance problems when, for all I know, it's because they're missing one worker at the beginning, or it's because they build their defenses in a dumbass way or something. So, yeah, it's not easy. What's up, Rimtech? Hello, Ilya. How are you? It would be pretty funny if it was a different Russian person every single time, and I only just assume it's Ilya, because I can't fucking read Cyrillic, so I have no idea. But I assume it's you, man. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Hope you're doing well. Okay. So I didn't really bother with idle orders for optical flare and for observance. Observance is a new ability, and optical flare hasn't been modified yet. So when you're looking at it that way, it's going to be a little while before we even have the opportunity to do that. I can take Radiate from Scarlet and then tweak it. Scarlet from V Zergo one. And I want to see what else I can come up with anyway. It's an interesting one. Wait until you own a science vessel before upgrading them. Might make sense. So what did we have here? We had targeting mutalisks, a good idea, especially if they're stacked. And then we had targeting everything else, organic. Targeting Hydra, Whirling, Basilisk Guardian. I think you need to get rid of the... Oh, I guess the targeting thing is because I can't check for in combat for those. And there should be... 01 science vessel. 60. What is 3 weapon range again? This 192. Yeah, I feel like these numbers might actually be way higher than they should be. I'm going to test with smaller ones and see what happens. I think that's actually fine to be as high as it is because that's a more like I want them to go aggressively find drones and overlords and harass them. So we'll say like... But yeah, I'll say 40. Is it group men, or I guess it would be any or something? Group men. Missile turret above the gas. Over here? Yeah, because the minerals are so far away. I don't think SCVs will try to go through the barracks. I think they'll just go around it. I don't think it'll be that big of a deal, but if it is, it's easy to fix. I'll keep an eye out. Oh, gas. I don't think it should. I can move it to the left. Now, ComSat idle orders are their own beast. Right. Now, I believe I had... What even is the scanning burrowers, right? If they are not seen. So maybe the idle order for unseen is wrong? Because there's no reason for them to scan... Like, maybe unseen is not working correctly, is what I'm thinking. Unseen is supposed to... Let me see. I think it's just supposed to be that you can't see them, so you scan them. It's kind of a dumb idea in this context anyway, but... We'll accept unseen targets. Oh! Unseen is not the... I'm not supposed to use unseen at all, because unseen makes it use map hacks. That's, That would be why they were wasting scans so much. Well, I guess we can carry this over. But it'll be more useful, I think, if... Would it be more useful for... scanning hatcheries? I mean, we don't really have an example of hatcheries that... Like, there's no... Oh, I guess instead of unseen, I should have been using invisible. That's the one. But there's nothing to preclude standard. things or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that says, like, don't scan anything. They must be invisible, must be undetected. So that's kind of a problem. Oh no, I think... Wait, the flags have to be true? I'm pretty sure that's the case. Additional instructions. Yeah, I don't know. We'll experiment with it. I don't remember if I already fixed the iScript for scanner sweep to play. The sound. 81. It doesn't look like it. So we'll have to do that. I'm gonna assume it's that one. 388. Alright, so that way when you scan, it'll play the sound for everybody instead of only the player that scans. So there you go. And then we'll have like wait, what? Ah, interesting. I can actually make certain forum plugins only apply to certain themes. Very, very interesting. The hell? Shouldn't you be able to... Why is it so small? I have width, but not height. Oh. I can do that. Cool. Oh, it's probably because of the length of the mark time strategy. Forum name or something, I don't know. That's my guess. Alright, minimize that. So, I don't believe that I need to do too much custom shit for Terrans. The biggest deal is their bunkers. And yeah, that's a problem. Maybe it's not, though. Maybe I could do the add build thing for bunkers and turrets. And then in the tower thread, I would just sort of like wait until they had wait until they brought a bunker to a certain location. I wonder, should I do that similar to how I do upgrades, though, where I wait for, like, I make a thread for each individual bunker? That could get messy. That would definitely be a lot of code, but it would be less code than writing it all out. So I wonder if maybe that would work. I could just do that. What's there? Our thing. Right, so we can do bunker. Add. Oh, I need to add tech as well. Okay. I missed one of the fields for the first bunker, but that's easy to grab here. There's a commotion, boys. I know I was forgetting something. I don't have any supply depot. Declarations. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wonder if they'll be able to squeeze around there. I think they should be able to. Apparently I completely forgot about these ones down here. I don't think I did. I think I counted them. But I miscounted two elsewhere. Somewhere else. That's done. Okay. How did I do this earlier? Oh. What are the other ones? It's like Academy. No music. It can't be that quiet. It's some very... Oh, maybe it is quiet as fuck. I'll turn it up for you. No, I did not do that. That was by Bounce Him Up, and it was called the Critter Campaign. I think that's what you're talking about. really any reason for... Oh, yes, there is. What's up, Patrick? How you doing? Oh, it's supposed to be. Yeah, that guy did some tile set editing and some other weird stuff. Like in his installation map, he had, for one, he had the shroud go back. There was no exploring, like permanently exploring the shroud. There's no fog of war, just Activision or nothing. Which I thought was an interesting idea, but it was already a micro mission, which is already bad. And so on top of that, you also had to deal with the STEM gimmick. So I was not a fan of that. In execution, it did not work out. Playthroughs of Project Hydra's last Terra mission. The 1.0 version, yes, I can give you a link. Go to... I don't remember if Connor played it. Let me see. No, it looks like he stopped after map 8. Well, I don't know how current this version is, but you can, I think it's an unlisted one. So that's probably why you couldn't find it. But it was linked in the wiki.thread, or wiki.page for the original. So that hopefully that works out. No problem. I think those are the resource costs. Because that's in a nested call. I don't want to have to multi-run inside that. That might be bad. Oh wait, this isn't actually. Oh. Excuse my yawn. Oops. So we have here town 2 or res area 2, and then I forget what this res area is. It's 9. Pretty radical transformation that the AI took recently, considering like just a month ago it was significantly different. Like the beginning of April AI compared to the beginning of March AI is so different. Much less prescriptive, where you just get a sequence of commands. Way more sort of function based, where you got a lot of different things that like check some conditions before making it happen, which is pretty neat. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 6. All right. Was it 4 and then 2 mid bays? Easy. So that's that. We're gonna do bunkers and turrets now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One, two, three. Yeah, it's fine. Hello, Vic. How are you? Oh, so it sounds like you're excellent. Nice job. Did you figure out what the problem was? Or was it just sort of a trial and error situation? Yeah, I have no idea what that could be. I'm not super well versed in hardware, that's for sure. So many different things that could be going wrong that don't seem to be going wrong when you do testing on it. Is it 15? It's 14. Seems good to me. I just need to do the, obviously the same bunker stuff for the, other, the natural, the other base. What is the issue exactly? It's just not using it? Because I know in Toddborn, my Akmech unit was... I don't even think I defined an overlay file, but I don't remember. Looks like I updated the pillbox. That's for the power up, I think. I don't know why that would be in the Terran section. It's only 17 frames though, so it can't be the one we're looking for. Well, yeah, but I don't remember what unit. I think the turret. Oh. Oh, I did use this one. It was the drone.log. Well. Here, take a look at mine. See if it works for you. What the fuck? Oh, you. I'm glad you, Safirius just decided to do that. Thanks. Much appreciated, man. Hope you're doing well. There is no staging for this AI, so we can get rid of that. And then we're just doing expanding. Um, Randy is probably going to last, like, and the thing is, it's depending on like if you are you not helping him because you're getting fucking destroyed by Arak. Like, is Arak single-handedly destroying you, or are you like going around the map and killing Zerg? So that's kind of what it depends on. If you're just a do nothing and you turtle, right? And you just build like macro up, get expansions. He'll probably fall over in like 10, 12 minutes maybe. Um, I might even make a sort of a set piece style thing at some point, which prioritizes like has a point where like there's a coordinated attack between Zaz and Gorn that try to pick off Randy at the beginning, and have some sort of advance warning that could happen, so that the player should know that, right? And so like Randy could very easily die in like the first 5-6 minutes. And the idea is that you either have to fuck around with the AI in the early stages to try to stop that from happening, or you have to help him, fend off the enemies. So, we'll see what happens. It's not one of those things that is super definitive yet. The set piece idea that I just went over, I think, is a good way to introduce players to the idea that some AI are not exactly going, like, just some starting locations you will need to assist your allies in those endeavors, and that the AI coordinates attacks in that way, where you've got two AI that are going to attack together on the same position. So, well, you mean like a distress transmission? I was thinking of doing something basic, like just hey, I'm under attack or whatever. I actually had that implemented for Toddborn, but for like in this case, I would just read like I basically I need to read like the quantity of units in a location around his base or something like that, or maybe detect like have a new command that detects units in town region. Yeah, units in certain regions states. Um, and if I can detect like a quantity of hostile units in there, that's like he's got like 20 units in his base or something, he'd be like panicking, just panic radio transmissions. But I mean, we'll see what happens. Now, no music for real. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then those other ones I'll have to do a little bit later. Sharing bay. Factory. I think that's it. Oh, I need to do missile turrets, of course. And bunkers. That's awesome. How come you're so interested in working with pathfinding? Were you thinking of modifying Brood Wars pathfinding? I figured that would be way too challenging to do. Ah, I see. Sounds good to me. You know I'm a fan. Okay. Okay. We're good there. Just need to get EXP worker done here. And then this has to be a CV. Easy. And then I think I do need the oh, I didn't do spellcasting for these guys. Oh, it's right here. Silly me. Okay. All right, well, first draft of that AI, I guess. Excuse me. Okay. I'm gonna take a quick break, use the bathroom, get a banana or something. I'll be back. Well, my friends, I have grim news. There were no more bananas. But it's okay. I found a granola bar. And I found out that there's some pretty fucking good food cooking, so, you know, not all bad. I may be interested in one, Don. What are the prices? Do I get warranty? How the fuck do you get a gig like that anyway? Like, are they gonna pay you by the hour, or do you get paid by sales? That seems like a scam. That's insane. Bulgarian customer support. At least it's not Indian. You can say that. Hello, I am not Indian. I am here to help you with your tech support. I don't know where you guys are, if it's like that, but here, like, there's a huge, like, call centers and stuff obviously have all walks of life, generally speaking. Usually the destitute. But there's a huge population of people who call in and they're like, fuck, I can't believe you're not, like, I got so many calls. I didn't work in a call center, but I did work for, I got, like, calls for tech support before, and they were like, oh, I'm so glad you're not an Indian. Like, that was a constant thing. They would always say that. Okay, so you get $600 a month, and you get a percent of total sales. As long as you get something that's livable a month, that's pretty good. I was worried that that was not going to be the case. Alright, I'm looking at this. And if we go to PyDat... Oh, okay, so you're actually making above, like... Well, is your minimum wage livable, or is it like you'd have to room with people in order to live? Like, can you pay for your own apartment on $350, $400 a month? What do we have here? Right, but it's probably not ideal, I imagine. What do we have? We have Imgal 518. Okay. Trying to come up with help for for iQueries having some problems. Unfortunately, I have no idea. Oh yeah, you were posting about that in the Mapcraft channel, I think. Something about that. I'll be right back. I forgot to get something. All right. I think I've had enough of this slow-ass music. So, you know. Let's hope we can get something a little bit more exciting. Aren't you in one of those new Islamabad countries, Patrick? Let's try to compile this bad boy. I don't get the obsession with toilet paper either. It's just one of those self-fulfilling prophecies where a bunch of people were like, you know, some people started hoarding it all, and then everybody, like, that created a scarcity for everyone, so it's pretty ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. Putin is the most normal leader. Well, you actually. The fuck up. Good thing I caught that one. Well, we should have most of this stuff taken care of. The colors are blue, and I think this is Maya blue, but let me double check. It's glacial now. I updated it. Just realized the music was probably too loud. Sorry about that. As far as whether or not you can play as one or the other, we don't have the technology for you to be able to pick that in the briefing yet. That is the idea, is like to repurpose the mission briefing screen as a screen for not only like story-based stuff like the mission briefing and objectives for gameplay, but ideally there would be something like the ability to go in and pick your starting location, maybe even pick where your ally starts if you're playing single player and you have an ally, like in this context. And I would even go as far as to say I would like you to actually have a planning phase where you have resources, and you can spend those resources any way you like. So you'd specify a starting location, and that would automatically place your command center there, which you could you'd be able to move it around if you wanted to, but there wouldn't really be much of a reason. And then you'd be able to place like supply depots, a barracks, stuff like that. A refinery over the gas, and you'd also be able to spend like place SCVs, right? Spend however much money you want on SCVs. And so, like, if you look at this is 300 minerals worth of SCVs, and then I think you start out with 100 minerals in the bank. So if that system were implemented in this context, you'd have a situation where you're looking at 400 minerals as a starting bank. You pick your starting location of either here or here, and you pick which faction you are. Which, I guess there's not really much of a reason, like not much of a point. I think instead you'll just pick your starting location. That'll determine if you're the magistrate or if you're Rainer. But in other cases, you may the AI personality would obviously be different. So if you had like an AI that was better at being at playing defensive, you could pick a location that you think would be easier for them to have good impact on the map on, and you'd be able to pick your own location that would be different. But that's obviously not in the case here. Like not related in this particular instance. But you'd be able to then say like, all right, I want only 4 SCVs, and then I'll have 200 minerals, so I'll build a barracks. 5 SCVs in a barracks, or something. However you like to do it. Basically, also allowing you to place your structures will make it so that I don't have to worry about like what the pre-placed functionality is going to look like. Like, I actually do think that if you're going to pre-place buildings as a map designer, you're basically making a decision for the player. And so you should make sure, at the very least, that your decision that you're making is optimal, or is like ideal for most openers, right? Which is another reason to stay away from pre-placing a lot of stuff. Is because when you pre-place a lot of stuff for the player, they have to acknowledge where those positions are, like the fact that they have that stuff pre-placed, but they also have to decide, like, well, they can't really decide anything about it because it's already been decided for them, but they also have to try and figure out how to play around that. Whereas that's a lot more natural and intuitive if you made the decision yourself. And it also helps you to take your own responsibility for it. You're like, oh yeah, I put that there, so if it fucks me up later because it's blocking my path, then that's something that I can take. I can blame myself for, right? Because I put the structure there. So ideally, we'll have that, but that's very far from where we are right now. It's a long ways away. What else we got here? So back to working on this guy. I think I'm done with him. Oh no, I need to do the actual loops. Oh, I see what the loop stuff was for. He's done. That guy's done too. Rush 1 town B. Oops. I may have forgotten to move these to the placement map. Excuse me. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to fix the fog of war thing. Oh shit. Well, he's probably going to get rushed, so I would prefer him to not do that. I did forget to start him out with a barracks, but I also probably have to manually set up his okay, that's fine. I probably have to manually tell him to build a second barracks early, as opposed to letting it rely on the that early thing. Hold on. But yeah, he's I wanted him to build his early supplies over here. He doesn't really have walls. I mean, he has one over here for if they enter that way. And he has stuff all the way in the top right. But when it's starting out, I don't want him to have a base that spreads out too far, you know? That is the thought process, anyway. Time will tell if it's accurate. Where do I see the allowed threats? Protection history. I have no idea then. Maybe all of those are fine. Oh, I've got to fix the shit over here. So the other AI will attack. There we go. Does he not set enemies or something? No, he does. Classic. Gotta lift off that barracks, baby. Ahmed's on patrol. No idea what they're spending all their money on, though. Oh, suddenly their money skyrocketed. So add mix, adds all these units, then returns, and then it calls target select, which attack 2 chooses, and then returns, and then it calls attack prep, which quick attacks. So why wouldn't it work exactly? Oh. Yeah, they're just not attacking for some reason. I have no idea why. I'll have to investigate that. You know what I mean? Alright, well, I'm gonna use the bathroom. BRB. All right. Hi. Here we go. Ah, I'm gonna skip that one. It's lunchtime, baby. Thank you, Connor. Appreciate it. Alright. I'm going to boot up the map again. And I'm going to see what areas need to be modified for the... Oops. For the build order. Specific things like this I can't really do. Like small micro things like this can't really be adequately seen. Precisely because of the fact that the idle worker at the beginning and you know, some other stuff. I guess I have to move this mineral field over a little bit so that they can easily access it. Otherwise, nothing too crazy. I wonder if an early macro hatch wouldn't be out of the question for Arak. I don't think he has enough mineral fields in his main to justify that, though. One thing I was thinking about is, yeah, I think it was yesterday or the day before. One thing I was thinking about is actually waiting to, like, having him do his main stuff, right? Like, all of his main colonies can be built in this way. But making him wait until he has a second hatchery. Probably slowing down the main colony route, or rate. But making it so until he has a second hatchery, he's not able to start working on the other, like, the more distant ones, right? I think that's probably the best thing to do in this context. Why is he? Why? This is the player need issue again. what we call epic. The second drone is Creep Colony over here. Or there's like a town over in the bottom right that was initialized. That's where the second drone is, and the third drone is assigned to this. Again, it's just like the AI is really stupid about it. They should be able to continue mining with workers if they don't have enough money to satisfy the request. But they do have enough money to satisfy the request now. They're just being dumb. So I haven't seen any issues with pre-placed Zerg structures yet, but time will tell. I still can't believe that the player needed such a bugged command. Pretty stupid. Gee, what a question. Yeah, I mean, that's just because if you look at it, like, if you're trying to tell a story, first and foremost, RTS is not a great genre for that. Now, if you want to tell a story about... I mean, like, the thing is, like, the kind of stories, right, that you're able to tell in an RTS context are limited. That's where I think the biggest issue is. So you'll have situations like, you know, people try to tell fan fiction anime stories or whatever, and that's why their custom campaigns are so laughable. Because they're usually, like, super character-focused. It's one thing to be character-driven, because strong characters in an RTS sense, and by strong I just mean like really well-defined characters, can be really useful for RTS storytelling. Because it gives you an immediate thing to latch onto and to relate to, and then you understand it, and you're like, okay, this is, you know, we're good here. And that's something that you can just intimately understand. So, like, what the fuck? I'll have to check the science facility. Wait, he doesn't even have a fucking factory. How's he science facility? Hello? Botched debt requirements? See you later, Connor. Thanks for hanging out. I don't think I ever saw mass production of SCVs, no. Definitely need to add some more weights over here, like some barrier somewhere over here. The Terran color is glacial, the Zerg color is silver pink. So yeah, to continue my point about storytelling and characters, you want characters that seem to have their own motivations. Like, in some ways, you can't really be subtle about storytelling in characters, or when it comes to characters. You have to be very upfront with your themes, and you have to be very upfront with your characterization. Certain subtle things can be hinted at. There's certain, nuance and depth that you can have to your dialogue, for example. Or, like, I think the idea of the inner struggle of Gaska, for example, it's not the place of an RTS-focused production to explore that that concept, per se, right? But it's something that I think can be it can be implied, and just as long as, like, if the audience picks up on it, it can be that, another aspect of the story that they can consider, right? It can add depth to the character, make them more interesting, make them more dynamic, and less. I don't want to say less straightforward, because their main characterization should still be straightforward. But you can't be as subtle with certain things as far as characterization goes. You can't be as subtle as, for example, in the context of like an actual movie or something. So a movie or a book where you can explore that a little bit more in depth. It's just not something that you're going to see in an RTS. You shouldn't try to put that into an RTS, right? Because an RTS is about large-scale combat. You can't really tell a political story in an RTS. You can't tell a drama in an RTS. You can incorporate elements of such genres within the dialogue and the characters and the pacing and the presentation. But it certainly cannot be the main focus of the story. It certainly can't be, like, it can be a theme, it can be an aspect of it, but it can't be something that you're just constantly hearkening back to and focusing on.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street. There's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe. Our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know
Any projects like Hydra in games other than Starcraft? No, I guess the most obvious corollary would be Mental Omega, since it rehashes, like edits the game state pretty heavily. Yeah, I'm not gonna join this week's map crap. I'm too busy focusing on this and Inconsummate. And eventually I gotta go back and update my Total Deer map and release that. That requires some more custom commands, though. Well, I think their reviews should be apparent based on pretty straightforward dialogue that can be incorporated into explaining the objectives and gameplay elements. Like, too many people view dialogue as something that can't be used or shouldn't be used to accentuate gameplay aspects. But you can have characters discuss, say an enemy character, an enemy leader, right? Or an enemy faction, like a certain Protoss warband or a certain Terran armada. And based on how they talk about them, that can color how the player, are supposed to consider them or conceptualize them. If they dismiss their significance entirely, perhaps the faction or the commander or whatever is not worth much respect, not worthy of fearing them. And so the player themselves can internalize that and use that to color their gameplay. So your dialogue should reflect both what you're dealing with as far as storytelling is concerned and what you're dealing with as far as like the actual gameplay, right? Because the gameplay is telling its own set of story principles that are being presented, right? It's presenting a story to the player, and you want to make sure that the story that you're presenting through gameplay is as accurate as possible to the story that you want to tell, because that's how most of the story and how most of the gameplay, that's how most of that's going to go through. That's how the player is going to experience most of it, so. That's my 2 cents. Can't believe I can't call my home homo on this. Right. agreed on the context part. It's just very rare that you'll see that ever used in any capacity. Whew. So what do we have for... Trying to figure out why the attack ads aren't working. Well, yeah, I mean, since the player's primary mode of engaging with your content is by playing it and interacting with it, that's what games are, or interactive media. So when you have a situation like that, they need to be able to get all of the appropriate contextual information through gameplay. Cutscenes can help. I guess they can help you by, like, they can deploy information that you then, you know, take into account. They can add to your understanding, right? They can depict characters. They can do stuff like that. But I think in the game, you should be able to understand what you're doing, what the characters are doing, what the characters want to do, what their agenda is, what their personalities are like. You know, that should be evidenced or evident based on how the gameplay is progressing. So I don't know why the English language is difficult for me today, but it just is, I guess. The fuck? Destroyed.
Your forces are under attack.
Destroyed.
Base is under attack.
Yeah, Battlecry has some interesting gameplay contexts.
Base is under attack.
Hi. I would say Warcraft 3 is definitely not
with steel and concrete.
what you're looking for in that context.
Barricade our minds.
Not only is its gameplay uniquely terrible among all RTS games I've ever experienced.
Bizarre beyond reason or logic.
What the fuck? Where is their money?
Just don't see them.
Oh, they just don't have any
That's
drones.
because we cling to order, to any tiny happiness that comes our way.
So I guess I need to extend the duration of the weights there.
Desires and our pleasures. There's a world of darkness out there, beyond time or space. A world filled with evil.
Yeah, thanks. Just get to the music, please. That should be a better set of parameters. Yeah, well, also the way that you actually played the game needed to be overhauled completely. I think economy was really weak because of the mine system where it's all conversions. And then on top of that, you have all of the random shit where you can't really figure out what's happening. So that's cool.
Your forces are under attack.
Oh shit. They definitely have enough money, so why aren't they expanding? I didn't even have a limit on how many drones they could have or anything. It's crazy.
Your forces are under attack.
Do I even multi-run that? Yeah, I do. Yeah, no kidding. Wish I could forget about that one. Oh, I need to move that geyser closer. A single Zergling. Hi. destroyed. Dude, what the fuck are they doing? Destroyed. Oh, I know why they're not doing that, I guess.
Your forces are under attack.
Well, it's just a gimmick, really. Hey, you can't Vorbling me. This egg has a kill, dude. That's not very nice.
Base is under attack.
Oh wait, I don't actually have to move that. There's going to be a new hatchery that gets built over here that will solve that problem. Unfortunately, they're not doing fucking anything with their money for some reason. Like, they've had the ability to expand for the longest time.
Base
They're
is
just
under
doing nothing with it for some reason. All this does is wait until they have 300 or more minerals. And then it multi-runs code that explicitly tells them to expand. And yet they have not done that anyway.
Base is under attack.
These guys haven't even built any overlords, these lunatics. Did I not do farms timing? I did. I just now realized they have one overlord. Oh, they have two. Two
Base
overlords.
is under attack.
Well, I don't think Iron Man mode throws... Is it that you lose the... You lose the entire campaign? I thought it was just that your hero dies. If he dies, it's permanent and you don't have a hero anymore. That would almost be better. Oh, see you. Oh, good luck with that one. Huh. I really don't know why it's not expanding in this context. I know why they probably failed to take this is because of the presence of the neutral structures. So now I can just do call expnet create chunk. Location is that anyway? Turn. What was Force 1? It was like 18 or something? 18. And then I think Allies was 15. Yeah, I'm using Unreal 4. No, not really any news. I want to talk a little bit more about it on the channel map, but things have been pretty intense as far as trying to do, have enough time to do everything I want to do, so... I think I'll probably spend some more time on it soon because we're getting to the point where there's... While I can make, like, more maps, I can make more terrain and stuff for Starcraft maps, and I can make more... Like, I can write out some plot ideas, and I can write some documentation and some gameplay ideas and tech tree and stuff. I can do some planning, basically. But I can't actually do any testing, and I can't do any production of anything until we get Town State Worker, and until we get base layout with morphs and add-ons, and until we have build queue. Like, there's at least 3 or 4 different things that I need on the technical side before I can really do anything with AI right now, without it being a step backwards and just code that I would have to then refactor later on once we did have those steps. So there's not really any point in doing that. So either I'm going to show remarkable discipline and get a lot of work done on custom art assets for like the dead doodads and stuff for Inconsummate and for other projects as well, of course. Or I'm going to spend a lot of time with Unreal. So we may be doing some streams of that next week. So there's a pretty high likelihood that we end up doing some Unreal streams, which will be interesting because Unreal is much more performance intensive as an editor than SEM Draft. So we'll have to wait and see. But unimaginably bad, you say? At least Quake has its source port, right? Or it has a source code, rather, available. So, already better than Starcraft.
Your forces are under attack. Base is under attack.
I sent you A's.log. What's the matter, you? Oh, yeah, that reminds me. I still never edited the previous stream and publicated it. Oh, well, that's supposed to be Hydra. Let's not let her in. Alright, well, it looks like we fixed that one. I still don't know what's causing the expansion issues. Well, I put in a prospective fix for that anyway. We'll investigate that later. We know that the Terrans are expanding, but I don't think they were attacking. Yeah, it could be. It's difficult to keep track of a lot of those. So. When there's like so many different small fields. Otherwise, let's see. There's got to be some sort of issue with these attacks as well. Add mix. All these return, so that's good. And then we do attack prep. Alright, target select is straightforward. But attack. Prep is weight 720. Quick attack, attack do, attack clear. Yep. So that checks out. I don't see why that would not be a problem. Or why that would be a problem. Pardon me. And then, obviously, we do attack Gen. Alright, real quick, I'll just speed up and see what we got. It just straight up doesn't do anything. Apparently. What the fuck? Destroyed. Finally. Why did they take so long, though? I don't understand. Yeah, I'll still need to do some debugging. I don't know why that would be happening. Hi. Ahmed put him to work. The fuck? Egg remnants are looking strange over there. It looked like he might have been attacking for a second, but hard to tell. No, Cyprians will be map 3, and Shamans are map 2. Yeah, I also enabled Wraiths, dropships, and science vessels, so... enjoy that. I think Azazel's might be map 3 as well, but maybe I'll wait till 4. I like how this Zergling only AI is slowly destroying this supposedly competent non-Mongol. It's got some decent upgrades. In fact, they both have pretty okay upgrades. Uh-oh. I saw something that was not a Zergling or a Vorgeling as a combat unit. That's not allowed. Meanwhile, we... holy shit. Desperately needs some Aberrants. Aberrants won't show up for Zerg until probably the 3rd map. But maybe the first one. It might be okay. Oh shit! Arak has decided to start playing the game now. He's got some pretty good attack forces happening. See ya. Glad we could catch that. It's excellent. Oh, yeah, good job. You know, the Overlord was the problem after all. Oh, man. I'll have to add an energy safeguard to that one so he picks the other ones first. See ya. Alright. Well, that's more promising than before, that's for sure. Yeah, that's true. Yes, relentless. Oh, okay. As long as the... Like, as long as the unit is attacking it or whatever.
Jimmy, listen.
No, I'm not listening. Alright. Well, that'll do it for me. I'm out of here. I have work later. I gotta see if I can record a dad call before I leave and fold my laundry. And yeah. Pretty epic. Hopefully your flamethrower thing gets figured out. Hopefully Voyager or somebody else is able to help you. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow for more mod streams.
Decide to become a Satanist,
So,
but it has to be in your heart,
bye.
not